is Doug Davis with Condo Realty here, broker in charge, and here for another session of Ask Doug. And I got a really interesting piece of mail that someone got, and this is on the mainland, but this particular piece of mail won't apply to Hawaii, but the thinking process and the concepts are what this is about. So they got a piece of mail that's an add-on insurance for the exterior water line. So the water line that comes from the street to the home. And my first thought was, oh, that's like a virus. That's a viral letter, and they want your credit card, or they want a check, or they want the money. But then I got to think about it. It might not be a bad idea to have something like that, depending on how far. Well, think about this. Let's say it's 50 feet or more from the street to your house. You don't know where it is. It breaks, in the winter, it freezes and breaks, and you have no water, and then you got to get a backhoe, but they don't know where the pipe is, and it's in midwinter. You got a couple feet of snow on it, maybe. Oh my gosh, it's just a nightmare to think about it. It'd be thousands of dollars to do that, and in midwinter, and might not be a freezing issue. It could just have corroded out. It could be, all kinds of things. And this is a policy. It's $3.74 for up to $7,000 payout, and up to $1,000 for repair of landscape restoration, resetting bricks, stones, mulch, shrubs, repairing asphalt and concrete surfaces. So then I asked, well, so this is the thought process that you should be thinking about wherever you are, and whatever state, and whatever kind of property you have. So I asked, is this a single family house? Is it a condo? Well, it was a condo, and it's a single family house in a condo project, a detached house. So are there common areas? I asked, common driveway, barbecue areas, swimming pool, clubhouse, that sort of thing. And yes, there's common areas. So then I asked, well, is there a master insurance policy? I mean, there should be. You've got these common areas and common area liabilities, maybe an employee, you got yard people doing the common areas, paving from time to time, repair. If you've got a pool or clubhouse, you've got contractors coming to clean the pool and treat it, and clubhouse and repairs. It goes on and on. So you got to have a master insurance policy, and that might contain the plumbing. So, okay, how do you know? Well, almost no one knows. So at least in Hawaii, there's a governing document called the Declaration. When it first came out, it was called the Declaration of Horizontal Property Regime. But I think horizontal confused everyone. So a few decades later, they changed it to the Declaration of Condo Property Regime. So CPR for short, that's what most people call it. And they call this governing document the Declaration for short. The Declaration is where you want to go to find out about your plumbing and whose responsibility a certain section of the plumbing, who has that responsibility. So for example, if you're in a high-rise condo, it may say that the plumbing that comes out of the mast, let's say it's a water pipe. So you have a pipe that goes up, and then your pipe goes sideways to your unit. So it may say this pipe that goes to the master pipe is your responsibility right up to it. Or it might say you have the responsibility up to the paint of your unit. And you have to look at this governing document to see where the responsibility is. And that document contains parking stall numbers, the square footage of your unit, your lanai, your neighbor's square footage. If there's storage area, who's it pertinent to? Who's responsible for the windows, the plumbing, the electric? Where does it start and where does it stop? Is it the association's responsibility or the homeowner's responsibility? Who's responsible for the common areas? What and where are the common areas? It's got everything in there. And you pretty much can navigate through it by table of contents and just looking for the sections that you're after, like plumbing. So you go to the plumbing section, or electric, go to the electric section. If you want to know your parking stall, you can go to the probably an exhibit in the back of it. So this is the thought process. So do you want to get this insurance policy, an add-on policy? Well, you should check your master insurance policy as well to see if that's covered. So your declaration to find out if it's your responsibility in the first place, and then the master insurance policy to see if you're covered. And the master, you're probably going to have to call the insurance company to help you navigate through that one. And that leads up to another point. Should you have other add-ons? Well, if you're in a condo, you have the master insurance policy, which covers a great many things, but then you still need your own homeowner's insurance to cover perhaps your contents, the things in your home, for theft, for water damage, for liability, for fire. When you have a fire in your unit, that's your responsibility. Someone breaks a leg in your unit, that's your responsibility. So you need to have, fire liability. And there's one that's often such a disaster. It's the leaks. You leave the bathtub on and it flows over, or your ice maker pipe, this is really common, bursts and you're not home, and it goes sideways and goes into your neighbor's unit, goes into your unit. It goes all the way down to the ground floor, and every unit down, all the way down. And you should have an add-on policy for that. And usually it's $15,000 for like say cabinetry. But let me tell you, I've experienced where the insurance carrier would only cover the repair of the existing cabinetry, but the cabinetry was old, so you can't replace it and have it look the same. So you really need to gut all the cabinetry and start new. Are you going to have black wood with brown wood? It's terrible. So 15K it's not enough. So you should beef that up a bit. So that would be for leak. Talk to your insurance person, see if there's anything else you might want to increase, and that would be for add-on type insurance, and make sure that you have enough. Minimum usually doesn't make it. So especially when there's a big disaster like that. So this is all about this strange solicitation that they got in the mail for an add-on insurance policy. It makes you think, but you have to ask all these other questions in order to get to the bottom line. Maybe it's already covered, maybe it's not. So anyway, hopefully that might help you in the thinking process if you are concerned about your insurance for your condo. And single family homes could be in a condo project as well. So think about that. All right, that was a real interesting question for me. Hope that helps you. And that's it for today. Love your questions, and until next week. Thanks.